So not everybody is saying that the market is going to crash. iBuyer is dead. We do this week's mailbag question, Kim Molloy Market Monday, starting now. Today we have the fabulous Kim Molloy. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Good.
What about these numbers this week?
You know, the story continues, right? Inventory just continues to go down, and we continue to see sales prices go up.
I'd say that's an understatement.
Yeah.
So this past week, we had 11 properties come on the market. This same week last year, we had 69.
I mean, listen to that difference.
This same last week, with 11 properties coming on the market, we had 32 go under contract. The inventory is shrinking at a rate that I've never seen it.
It really is.
Already low.
It's very low. I was just talking with somebody yesterday about how few properties, you know, just within the first 3 rows, there's very few.
Why do you think that is? Why aren't people putting their houses on the market?
Well, I mean, it's something we've talked about. You know, many people during the pandemic refinanced their properties, purchased, sold, all those things.
Renovated.
And so people are sitting on these properties with low interest rates, and so they're sitting in a really good position at the moment, and they just don't, you know, where some people may have already gone ahead and relisted their properties, it's just not making sense from a dollar standpoint for them at this time.
It's my argument, right? That I think you've heard it, that the Federal Reserve, by increasing interest rates, at least in our local market, have caused people to just stay put.
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't get inventory and we don't get into an oversupply, which is one of the first articles that we're going to talk about today, without an oversupply, there is no housing price correction.
Right.
And the proof is, year over year, prices are up on Hilton Head Island 18%. The average selling price is now $844,000.
I mean, that's high
for average.
That's high.
Yeah.
It's high.
Yeah. I think it was just 2 years ago that number was in the 4s.
Mm-hmm.
So
what a difference.
Yeah, it's really a significant difference. So first article, so I've had a lot of people here call me out saying that I'm crazy predicting prices continuing to go up. Michael said, looks like prices are dropping left and right. How is this not indicative of a price crash? Are you high on something?
Mm-hmm.
And I've been predicting prices will continue to go up for probably around a year now, I would guess. Would you say behind the 2 years now? But during the time that everybody else was calling for a crash, I've been saying that it's been going up for, what would you say, a year? Yeah. People tell me, like, I've had comments like, are you on crack? You know, are you stupid? You know, all of those things. And the answer to all of those is yes.
But you're studying the data.
Yes, but I know the data too.
Yeah. Numbers don't lie.
What I find interesting now is now they're starting to become a split. So for those people that a year ago said that I was on crack or that I was stupid, prices have gone up 18%. I was calling for 10, 12%, I thought was the number. Right now we're up 18% for the last year. But now instead of 100% of the naysayers, of the doom and gloomers saying that prices are gonna go down, now it's starting to split. Now people are starting to look at what's actually happening with low inventories and say, maybe there isn't going to be a crash.
Yeah, and some of those that are projecting the increases now, they seem to be around about the same, agreeing on the same amount, somewhere in the 4 to 5.5% range.
Yeah, that would be the other thing that I would point out with the article as well, is that, you know, not only do we now have, you know, maybe half of the people saying prices will go up, almost everybody has moderated the predictions of a crash.
Right.
Now it's not a crash, it's for the people that say prices are gonna go down, they're gonna go down 4 or 5%.
Right.
There's a couple outliers that say 20%. Companies that I've never heard of.
I've never heard of.
Right?
We
were talking about
that company.
Yeah.
Never heard of them.
You know, in this article, it says, you know, they talk about comparing this, which is what everybody has done, to 2008. This time around, however, there seems to be neither a supply glut, inventory remains well below pre-pandemic levels, nor a glut of bad loans.
And if I can add too, I think it's interesting in this article, it does speak about it shows a graph of a 3-month change in US home prices. I printed out Hilton Head, the same exact look, and ours is significantly different.
We can do this, because we have good technology.
This is
so
the
this
US,
is the article.
And this is...
Prices come straight down.
I'm gonna put it on the screen.
No, we're doing this. Here, wait. These are two different markets.
I mean, clearly, but it just shows, again, the importance of talking with an agent in the market in which you intend to buy or sell.
Yeah, I mean, if you're serious about getting into a market or out of a market, talk to a specialist.
You have to.
Yeah. Next article is about iBuyer, right?
Yes.
Everybody thought iBuyer was going to mean that you and I were going to get replaced by computers, but they're just falling like one by one. Like Zillow got out about a year ago, maybe 8 months ago, after losing $900 million. Open Door, they lost $928 million last quarter.
I mean, it's a lot. But I mean, if I can speak to that for a second, to me, you know, what the bottom line here is iBuyer doesn't provide relationships. And we all know, you know, real estate, selling, buying, purchasing there's so much about relationships that is part of that equation, and really understanding the community. There's just so much more to buying and selling real estate than just a transaction.
Absolutely. It's understanding your client. It's understanding the property. It's all of these things. And the iBuyer model purports to be able to turn that into a commodity,
right,
and kind of computerize the transaction.
And also, no two homes are alike. So
that's the problem with turning it into a
too,
commodity.
right?
Yeah,
it's very difficult.
Is it difficult or is it impossible?
Well, I personally think it's impossible. I just don't think people want to buy and sell that way, and this is showing that.
I think people want streamlined. They want the transaction to be easier.
Sure.
They want to smooth out the friction, all of those things. I think those are all things that we as an industry should really start to listen to the consumers on.
Absolutely.
But turning it into an Amazon purchase, I just don't think you can ever do that.
I don't either. I really don't.
So this week's mailbag, Kim, Bryson asks, I'm so tired of the explosion of short-term rentals and Airbnb type properties on the island. Seems to me that if we cut back on these type of properties on the island, we could solve the low inventory, no workforce housing problem. What says Kim?
Bryson, I hear you. However, if we were to do that, what would happen to our economy here on Hilton Head? I happen to think it would have a huge negative impact on the economy here. So number one, not a good idea.
Let's compare a week in your family, right? Let's say 1 week you're here at home on Hilton Head Island. Let's think about how much money you would spend during that typical week. Then you go away on vacation and you go somewhere. How much money does your family typically spend on a vacation week? Putting aside the housing cost of it, just restaurants,
yes,
excursions, all of those kind of things.
50 to 75% more, maybe 100% more when you're on vacation. You're just in that mood. You're happy, you're spending, you're doing things and spending money on things you wouldn't otherwise. And so that, again, just feeds into our economy here on the island. We need that. That's half of what we're built around, so.
Yeah, Bryson, you would really be solving the low inventory issue, because not only would there be more properties available, but we wouldn't need the workforce.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And so it's all about balance. But your point is well taken. We need a balanced real estate market that includes short-term rentals and workforce housing and primary residence and second homes, that all of those opportunities can exist in harmony.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's a balancing act.
It is. And it's hard because the island's only so big, right? And it's already
100%.
built out pretty much. So, so it is an issue, the workforce housing, that has to be addressed, of course. I think everybody's aware of that.
Thanks for the question, Bryson. Well, hey, thanks so much for stopping in. It's always a pleasure. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.